Live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to a wet morning here in the Greater Kruger National Park. There is a baby Impala hiding in there somewhere. We're going to try find him now. This is Safari Live. Ready?
Standing by.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You are live, you are live.
Welcome to a very wet Djuma private game reserve. We're wondering if the deluge we've been expecting is on its way. It's rained intermittently through the night. Not much rain yet, I'd say a couple of mils, but will it come? We're predicted to have 120 mils. The roofs are on, and my name is Brent Leo Smith. Welcome, and I've got the incredible VM, the wildebeest Waterbuch, on camera. And as we were leaving camp, we spotted a tiny baby Impala. Mom is being quite shy, keeping it hidden from us. Let's see if we get a view from this angle, past the road work tires. Where is the little one? Mom is keeping it quite well hidden. Must be at the back there somewhere. But so far we've got incessant drizzle. Not too hard yet. So we're going to be out and about trying to see what we can find on this wet morning. Well, that baby Impala seems to be very well hidden. But I've got some fantastic news. Not that the weather is playing along. Today is what we call a Big Birding Day, or Birding Day in South Africa. So many bird watchers all over the country are trying to compete to get the biggest list possible within a 24-hour period. We, of course, are already, well, what time is it now? 5 hours behind the rest of them. Some of them actually start at midnight to midnight trying to find all the nocturnal species. And well, let's see if over today let's see if today we can at least, over both safaris, between both vehicles, because it is Big Birding Day, try get to at least between the two vehicles and the bushwalk, at least get to, what do you reckon is a good number, VM?
43.
No, I think that's not ambitious enough. There are termites out, the alates, flying ants, so we could get lots of birds. So I think we should get to at least 50, but let's hope for more. So we're going to try and get the birds, of course, with roofs on. You might see a bit of dangling canvas here. Here we go. To keep the equipment wet, to let us stay out longer in this weather. We might have a little difficulty getting some of the flying birds, but we will definitely try. And with termites or alates, flying ants out, we just need to find a good emergence, and we could pile up the bird species there. And of course we're always looking for everything else as well, and this is 100% live, so enjoy getting wet with us in the African bush. My name is, I've already said that part. I meant to say you can ask us questions, hashtag Safari Live, or questions at WildEarthTV. It is a wonderful wet Saturday morning here, and we're going to head down towards the south. I know Byron's headed towards the east where we had the Inkahumas yesterday. Maybe they're still around. While we slowly move forward and try not to get too wet, let's go see what area Byron's in.
Good morning, everybody, officially on our safari. My name is Byron, and with me on camera this morning is Hat, and it is still drizzling quite a bit. Now, Brent, I think, is being a bit optimistic for the Big Birding Day. I'm a bit worried with this weather. It's not easy to bird in weather like this. But you never know, we could still see quite a few bird species. I've heard some calling, but seeing them in this weather is very difficult. They're not as active as they would be on a clear day. Now we are right up on the northern boundary of Djuma, the Buffelshoek cut line, and we're going to be heading towards Buffelshoek Dam. I mentioned earlier that I did hear some lions calling earlier, and it sounded like they were coming from this northeastern part of Djuma. So I'm hoping that we do find the lions, whichever lions it was that were calling, and we'll try our best to see what we can find this morning in general. Hopefully, we were just saying we haven't seen herds of elephant or a lot of elephant around. I think all the reason for that, and the main reason for that, is probably because it's been raining so much and there's a lot of food and water all over now, so the elephants or the animals in general have just spread out and they can move in different areas. So I think that's one of the main reasons, but there are still obviously the odd elephant about. We just need to find them. Yeah, Marco, you say that perhaps the Narina Trogon might come out today. Now, for those of you who don't know what the Narina Trogon looks like, let me find it quickly for you, because it is a very, very beautiful bird. I'm not going to find it out here now. I'll find it on my app quickly just to show you. And it is a beautiful bird, but quite scarce in this area. We don't see it very often around here, and they are also hang on, there we go. They are also very, very shy birds. So if you have a look, that is what the picture would look like in the book, the Narina Trogon, and that bright red. I'm going to try and find a photograph for you. Hey, look at that little bird. It is amazing. I've been fortunate enough to see them, but they tend to prefer very, very thick, dense area, almost forest type vegetation, and very, very shy. And they're quite clever. I've watched them when they land in trees. They'll turn their backs to you, so you only see that green section over there, and obviously the camouflage. It just blends in so well into its surroundings. But if you're lucky enough to get that red flash, it's almost impossible to miss. And they are beautiful birds. I highly doubt, Marco, we're going to see them, but you never know. You never know. I've seen Narina Trogon in this area before, or in the Sabi Sands, just further south on Londolozi. I've seen Narina Trogon a few times there, but it's not a bird that we get very often around here. Shirley, your question goes hand in hand, I think, with my elephant comment. And you wanted to know about giraffe and why we haven't seen many giraffe around. And it's funny, I was thinking the same thing with the giraffe. And I mean, we've seen the odd zebra about, not as many wildebeest as we did. And I'm thinking to about 3 weeks to a month ago, there were giraffe everywhere. We saw plenty of giraffe. And I think all that's happened is the vegetation, because it's green all over at the moment, the animals have just spread out further and moved into different areas, and that must be the reason. Because I mean, yeah, I can't remember when last I saw giraffe here. And a month ago there were giraffe. We were seeing almost one on every drive. So it's interesting how the movement of animals change depending on the weather, the food and the vegetation and water that's available. See, and I think what happened was, this area that we were situated in, this Djuma area, we were fortunate we got some earth. So what that did was it created this little green belt moving through that. We had vegetation, we had some water congregating in this area because of that. We had green grass shoot up a lot quicker than any of the other areas around here. And I know further south it was still completely dry and barren, but now because the rains have everywhere's got rain, every area, and I think that has changed the landscape and the vegetation drastically. Alright, so I'm going to continue searching. Let's head back over to Brent and get an update from him.
meandering through the rainy weather, and I'm hoping to find a nice termite emergence, so where the future kings and queens of the termite world escape from the ground. And generally there we might find some frogs, maybe even some snakes, and almost certainly a plethora of avian creatures. And termites attract all sorts of birds, from the biggest raptors to the smallest cisticulars. Aha, I think our first bird of Big Birding Day is up ahead. Now, when you're not using a camera, this weather is actually some of the best birding weather you can get, because the birds stay active for much longer. Oh, where did that bird fly? Oh, it's disappeared. They disappeared. Okay, we can hear lots of birds. Okay. Let's have a look. No birds just yet. I can hear a scrub robin calling, but it's deep inside the bush. Hello, Jay. Jay says his bird list screenshot folder is full of screenshots, but he's lacking one of our more common species, the Cape turtle dove, and would like us to try get one on camera. Indeed we shall. And okay, we got some termites flying here. Where are they coming from? Just random single ones at the moment. We want to find where they're emerging from the ground, and that's where we're going to find our congregation of creatures. Okay. Oh, very, very quiet. On the antelope front, they're going to be quite nervous. I think they probably... There we go. Our first bird of Big Birding Day, and a beautiful, striking bird it is. You got him, Vim? Going to be opposite you now. And he's going to definitely be taking advantage of the termite alates. There we go, the Woodlands Kingfisher, number 1. Now, I've discovered that my bird app has a very useful tool on it, and it is a list maker. So we shall create a new list today for Big Birding Day. Oh, there goes the Woodlands, and definitely after the alates. Okay, my lists, add Big Birding Day, BBD. That's much easier than typing it all out. And date, today, and that is the one we shall be using. So, there we go, Big Birding Day, and our first on the list shall be the Woodlands Kingfisher. Woodlands Kingfisher, there we go, and tick! Number 1. Yay! Now, we're off to a not-so-flying start, but hopefully as the morning progresses, we're going to be able to steam along steadily to try and get to that magical 50 birds. We're not going to try to do it in one drive due to the weather. I think we should do it over 2 drives and using both vehicles. Since it is Big Birding Day, we'll work as a team. And bushwalk, of course, or tent, depending. Good morrow, Aaron, in the land of the long white cloud. Of course, if those of you not sure where that is New Zealand. And Aaron would like to see some waterbirds today. Indeed we shall. Hopefully they'll be out and about around the pans. We can look for some sandpipers, and if we're really lucky, we might see a snipe. But of course the normal water birds should be around. The Egyptian goose, blacksmith lapwings, three-banded plovers and the like. Let's hope we don't find any wild dogs today, because I think trying to keep up with them with the roof will be impossible. Let's take a meander down towards the treehouse waterhole. Of course, being Big Birding Day, it feels like the birds seem to think they need to give us a challenge today. Now, as I said, all we need to do is find a nice termite emergence, and we should rack up the species. From warburgs, tawny, steppe eagles, I've even seen white-backed vultures feasting upon the termites as they emerge. Now, of course, apart from termites, rains like this are going to cause an explosion of insect life, and who knows, maybe we shall see some of it today. Normally it's the day after. So far, we haven't been lucky enough to find an emergence. We've just got one or two single alates flying about. So, where are the termites emerging? Now, as I said, with this type of weather, we might be lucky enough to come across some slithering creatures. Now, we've seen the woodlands kingfisher as our first bird for Big Birding Day, and Mindwarp says, is there a kingfisher that looks exactly like a woodlands kingfisher but is called something else? There is. What we're going to do is I'm just going to get down to the edge of the water, have a look for birds, and then Mindwarp I shall show you. It does look slightly different, but they are very similar looking, although we're definitely not going to get the other one in this vicinity. It is normally a coastal species sticking to estuaries around the ocean, and that's because it has a very particular habitat. And unlike the woodlands kingfisher, which is an insectivorous kingfisher mostly, this one is very much a pescatarian, a fish-eating kingfisher. So, okay, let's see if we get any water birds at the treehouse waterhole. Now, there could be a strong possibility that a lot of the water birds will be around the seasonal pans rather than the man-made pans today. We're nearly there. I'm not seeing any water birds just yet. Bless you, Vim. Vim is sneezing away behind me. Okay, let's have a quick look. What do we got here? I can hear some birdies. No water birds. But there we go. A rattling cisticular will be bird number 2 on the list if it decides it doesn't disappear. Top of this thorny bush there, about there, Vim. Where is he now? I'm out a little bit. Let me see if I can. Psst, 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 psst. Did he do a disappearing act? Oh dear. Oh, anyway, so there we go. For Mindwarp, there's the woodlands kingfisher at the bottom, and there's the mangrove kingfisher. Now look at the bills. The bills are where the difference is, and around the eye. So you see the bottom of a woodlands kingfisher is black, the bill, and it's got those very fancy looking sunglasses around its eye. The mangrove kingfisher has got a completely red beak, unless it's a juvenile, which only have a black tip. But his sunglasses aren't as fancy as the woodlands kingfisher. So there we go. It's those two kingfisher species that look the same. This rattling testicular has escaped. I can hear him calling. So while I go try find him, let's go see what Byron's got.
We've got some large antelope here that probably don't mind the rain as much. And these are two beautiful waterbuck, a male and a female. And it's a female on the left without the horns, is busy looking at us at the moment. You can see that very prominent white ring around the rump. And she might drop some dung or not. And they've got very shaggy coats, and that's the male to the right. You might be seeing him there. See those beautiful horns. Nice big male. Now, why I was saying that they don't really mind the rain very much is because they do tend to have fairly oily coats, so the water probably drips off of them quite easily and doesn't really soak in as much. But they will still get wet, definitely, without a doubt, in the rain. But waterbuck are reliant on water, so weather like this is great for them. That female's just moved off, but that male's still standing there. Beautiful, beautiful antelope. And one of the defense mechanisms, we've spoken about it before, is they'll run through water because they are usually found around water holes and dams. If they are chased by predators, they will run through the water to try and get away. Easy to recognize the waterbuck, the uniform grey color and that white ring around the rump. Enjoying some of the green grass at the moment. I did see some impala up ahead too. I would like to look for, and hang on, I just saw a bird fly into the tree up ahead. I'm just going to see if it's still sitting there, as I know Brent's also keen on doing some birding this morning. Can't see it now. I just saw a dove that is also in there, in the tree just up ahead on the right. We'll see, we might get it flying off. Cape turtle dove, I can hear it calling, work harder, work harder, work harder. Let's see. There's also, I think that was it that just flew off very, very quick, unfortunately. So I was saying we saw some impala around here, but what I've found is happening. Jay, you were looking for Cape Turtle Dove. I'm sorry, we will try to find one and get it on screen for you. And just I mentioned the impala that were in this area, and I think what's happening, because there are some lambs around, and I did see some lambs in this herd, they seem to be a little bit more nervous and a little bit more skittish, and I think it's purely because they want to be careful. They've got these new lambs and they don't like too much movement around them from things that they don't know, so like the vehicle, my voice, and something that will create a bit of noise and cause the lambs to be a bit nervous. So they seem to be moving off very quickly from the vehicles at the moment, unfortunately, but you never know, we may still see some more, but definitely more little lambs around, which is great. It's a wonderful time of year to see all of these little lambs bounding about. Alright, let's head back to Brent and see if he's got any more birds to show you.
Oh, indeed we do. We have a bird who's wandering away from his normal habitat, and that's probably because There's a lot of food out there now. Just trying to get a glimpse. There it is. You got him, Vim? In the gap. There we go. An Egyptian goose. Number 2 on the birding big day list. Now we mustn't forget to add it to our list. Goose. Now I can hear quite a lot of other birds around. There we go, added to the list, the Egyptian goose. Now the reason they're all the way out there, feeding away, is Egyptian goose are actually grazers. So they're after all the fresh grass, so they will move away from the water to feed while they pick at the grass. Now I can hear some other birds behind us, so we're going to go this way. And one sounded quite close to the road, which is good for us, and it sounded like a little white-bellied sunbird chirping away. So let's just get a little bit of speed and then get into the freewheel zone so we can hear everything around us. Have you got him? Left bottom, let's have a look. Oh, well spotted anyway, Vim. Oh, he's got a flying ant! Now, that is a southern black flycatcher, not a fork-tailed drongo, although they look quite similar. Oof, that's a nice one for the list. And he's got one of those alates I was talking about. Those future kings and queens of the termite world. Off he goes. Southern black flycatcher. Yay! That's a nice one to get. Now, the fact that he's got termite alates in his mouth means that we might be close to finding an emergence. Oh, the rain suddenly got a little harder. Or we're driving directly into it, one of the two. What do you think, Vim? I think we're driving into it. Now, from the south and east, this is the area where we get the majority of our rain from. Where are you going to land? You're going to be able to get that guy there, Vim. In this tall knobthorn, top right-hand side. What have we got there? That looked like... There we go. Oh, that is not the southern black flycatcher. That is, of course... Oh, off it goes, the fork-tailed drongo. Noisy. Okay, we need to keep up to date. Otherwise, we're going to get overtaken drongo. Not the square-tailed, but the fork-tailed. Okay, we're getting there after a slow birding start. I think we really need to find a nice emergence. I think we might need to check the Mawati River as well. Ooh, there's one more bird for us. So definitely the fact that there was that flycatcher with quite a few termites in its mouth means that there are going to be more birds around this particular area. Vim, on the other side of the drainage, right at the top of that little Ziziphus. Here we go. What have we got there? This light makes it very difficult. There's another drongo. Indeed it is. I thought it might be a starling. Okay, carrying on. So for a lot of your insectivorous birds, this is a time of plenty. Oh, Michael, you had to do that, Michael. You had to just bring up the white-throated robin, the nemesis bird. Now, we have seen them. We've had them on camera once. I see them regularly, but it's getting them on camera that's the trick, and I hear them calling even more regularly. Okay, I'm just going to get a little bit of speed so we can freewheel again. It's the drongos calling there. At least it's heavy drizzle rather than downpour rain, so we are able to operate. And we're just going to go very slowly this morning, and it is a wonderful experience to actually be out in the bush when it's wet, and you quite often, as I said, can see things we're not normally seeing. Let's just listen for a second and plan where we're going to go next. So the birds are going to be very vocal on a wet, misty morning like this. Ooh, I hear some robins. Scrub robins though, and unfortunately not the white-throated. Okay, we know where we're going. We're going down towards the Treehouse River system where it crosses Weaver's Nest. And also I want to change direction so we're not driving directly into the rain. Fortunately for me, I've got my rain suit on today, as you can see. And if worst comes to worst, I can always do this as well, although it looks a little ridiculous, so we won't be doing that just now. It's not quite wet enough for that. And of course with this new roof, if it gets really wet, we just drop down the sides and we sit and wait till it's to stop raining hard enough that we can make our way back towards camp or carry on with drive. Okay, so this is the little spot where we heard quite a few bird calls coming from. It's much better not driving directly into where the weather's coming from. Okay, so there was some francolin calling in this area. There's a robin calling. I can hear you, francolins. I think I know where to see you from. Okay. Calling from in these thickets here, it sounded like crested francolins. Again, taking us straight into the weather. Let me tell you, since this is birding big day, what my personal best, or our team, because you quite often do it in teams, what our personal, oh there we go, that's who is calling, we found them. Oh, we'll get out the list. The crested francolin. Feeding in some old buffalo dung. Francolin crested. There we go. Tick. Slow but steady. Oh, see what they're doing? You can actually see what they're eating there. They're kicking over the buffalo dung, exposing some very small white termites, and that's what they are picking up extensively. There we go, look at that. Look like Micromydes termites. Hide, guys, hide! Well, there's nowhere to hide from a hungry crested francolin pair. Oh, another bird that I've seen quite a few times, but we haven't managed to get on camera yet, is the European golden oriole, which has arrived recently. Yum, 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 yum. Turtle Tracking says they would love to see a storm petrel. It seems appropriate. Turtle Tracking, I don't think there has ever been a storm petrel this far inland. Storm petrels are birds that live out at sea, nest generally on islands. Nowhere do you see them very close to the mainland. They're normally closest a good 2 or 3 kilometers offshore, the storm petrels. I've seen them while fishing offshore, but I've never seen one on land in Africa. But who knows, maybe with the strange weather there's going to be a very confused storm petrel. Hi Liz! Now since it's birding day, Liz would like to know, have Byron or myself I ever seen the penguins that make Africa their home. I have seen them. I'm pretty sure Byron's seen them as well, and they are now called the African penguins, but they used to have a much better name in my opinion. They used to be called the jackass penguins, and that's because their call sounds very much like a donkey's bray. But they are now being reclassed or renamed as African penguins, but their old name was a jackass penguin. I prefer the first name. What do you think, Fib? Jackass. And then you can also say jackass penguin and not get into trouble. Oh, what do we have there? Those are quite fresh. Those are actually very fresh. Very, very fresh, but I think we're probably an hour. Let's have a look how much rain's on top. Now, wouldn't that be a treat if we managed to find one of these in the rain? Now, I want to have a look how much rain's on top. Which one's best, Fim? Is that one okay? Yeah. Okay, so what I'm looking at, you can see, if I put my finger in, see it's slightly darker. See, this is darker, and I'm trying to look carefully now. So if I do this next to it, this is very fresh. This is in the last 20 minutes or so, especially with that rain. This is an Arathusa track. Where, oh where have you gone, Mr. Arathusa? Let's have a quick look. Oh, look, Arathusa stopped here. Ooh, termite, termite. Oh, termite. And then when did you go after going, oh, termite? Da-dum, da-dum. Digging, digging, digging. Eating some ants over here. Where did you go? There. Okay. Let's move a little bit further down the road. Wouldn't that be a coup to find an Arathusa in the rain? Even though it is birding day, I would be most ecstatic to see an Arathusa in the rain. There is a chance with this weather that it might stay out a bit longer than they usually would, as those tracks are already telling us. Now, for those of you not sure what an Arathusa is, Arathusa, basically translated from Afrikaans, means earth pig. It is a massive anteater. They can get very, very big. That looks like the tracks of a big male, and they can weigh upward of 150 pounds. Okay, now where to? We've got hyena tracks as well. It looks like it's done. No, he hasn't gone that way. Let's keep checking down the road a little bit. No excavations on the mound. Those are very fresh Arathusa tracks. Oh, I think he's probably on his way home. Well, we'll keep checking. Maybe he's moving down the edge of the drainage. We are making our way towards the wonderful Milwaukee riverbed, where we're hoping to find lots of other birds. Now, the dark morph Wahlberg's eagle nest is up ahead, but I think they're probably out and about eating alates rather than sitting around doing nothing this morning. Okay, here's the corner where I'm hoping the Arathusa tracks come out again. If they do, hasn't come out here. Okay, let's check the Wahlberg's eagle nest quickly. Oh, this roof makes bird watching a little difficult. I think it's a bird we'll find later. It's a hornbill, but we're not going to be able to see him. He's up in the tree under the roof. Okay. You think we're going to see the Wahlberg's eagle? This is the dark morph Wahlbergs. These ones are close to twin dams, not the ones that are closer to the dam cam. But, ooh, this is sounding good in this area. I can't see the Wahlbergs, but we can hear. There we go. Let's go for the orange-breasted bushshrike first. There. We can hear an orange-breasted bushshrike calling, but there's another bird in there. Oh, sorry, Vim. Just wait for him to flick. Oh, he's gone off. You got him? If we come out and off to the right, sorry, there's I think it's to the right, or you in the right spot. No, you're in the right spot. Sorry, I apologize profusely, Vim. A little bit further up. I'm just waiting to get that viewer's beautiful orange chest. Where's he gone? He's hiding. I'm going to try a little trick quickly. Psh, 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 psh. Not working. There we go. We'll get a turtle dove. Cape turtle dove. Liam has spotted one. Not there we go. Cape turtle dove. Must put it on the list. Jay, there we go. Just for you, a very wet Cape turtle dove. Also sometimes referred to as a ring-necked dove. But from what I can hear around us, we've made our way into the right area for Big Birding Day. Let's get deeper into the Moati while we get into a spot to find you all the feathered friends. Let's go see how Byron's doing.
So we have found tracks of the Pride, possibly in Kahuma Pride, that are moving through this area, but the thing is, the tracks that I've seen, some of them are actually before the rain, so the rain's fallen on top of the tracks, so those lines most likely moved around during the course of the evening. So I'm just looping around and trying to find out exactly where they've gone. And if they have in fact crossed our boundary or not. Also some tracks of an elephant bull in this area, so I'm hoping we're almost at Buffelshoek Dam, so I'm hoping that when we get there we might see something. But we haven't had too much luck just yet. Would be nice to find a big elephant bull in this rain. I'm sure they get that dark grey colour when they get wet, so it'll be a wonderful picture. It's been a bit quiet on the wildlife front so far this morning, and as we said before, the weather definitely affects the movement of animals. We've seen a few impala and that running around, but they're all trying to move through the thickets and stay out of the rain. Michael, favorite bird call for me is, there are a few. I've got a few. A good friend of mine, we always used to enjoy, we'd sit out in the bush at night and we'd listen to the nocturnal birds. And one of the nocturnal birds that we enjoyed was the scops owl, little scops owlet. And it's got a funny little call. It sounds like it's going kurr, kurr, kurr. Oh, there you go. Kat is much better at the scops owl call than I am. And try again, Kat. Yeah, there we go. That's it. It's a wonderful, wonderful. And they're very, 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 very loud, and you can hear them constantly calling. The other one, another nocturnal bird that I really enjoy is the fiery-necked nightjar. And that, let's see if I can do it. Kat says he can't do it. No, wait, how does it go again? Sure, now I'm trying to think. I'm doubting myself here. Does that sound right? Almost. Let me tell you what, let's get the app out quickly. Let's just double check. I heard them calling early this morning, when it's still dark. And the Nat.Geo's got a wonderful, wonderful call. The fiery-necked Nat.Geo. One of my favorite calls. Yeah, no, I wasn't very good. Listen. Hear that call. That's definitely one of my favorite calls. Fiery-necked Nat.Geo. Hang on, is that a bird of prey up in the tree over there? Let me just stop this. A vulture sitting up. It's just got its wings and head tucked in. Trying to stay out of the rain. There are a few vultures around sitting. I can just see a few dots around. You might not be able to see them now, but there's about 3 or 4 dotted around. And all that it is, I think they're just roosting on these trees. Sorry, I'm just listening. I thought I heard some alarm calls from Franklin. So they do give an alarm call. I'm just listening and trying to have a look around. Yeah, the Franklins are definitely alarm calling. It's like a tree, something like that. It's not very good. But look at this vulture. The feathers ruffled up. They're wet. They're not very comfortable in the rain. So what they've done is they've chosen trees that are very open, even though it doesn't make sense, but it's easier for them to land on these trees and take off if they have to. I just want to have a look a little bit forward. I'm curious to know what this Franklin is alarm calling at now. It's right down in this drainage line off to my left. Oh, the road's a little slippery from the rain. No, I wonder. Anyway, what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to investigate quickly this area where this Franklin is alarm calling at. Brent, I think, managed to find the Wahlberg's eagle. Let's head over to him and get an update.
A very, very wet-looking Wahlberg's eagle sitting atop a dead knob thorn. Oh, sorry, a dead leadwood branch. There we go. There's a pale morph. I was looking for the dark morph, but I'll take a pale morph. There we go. Slightly bedraggled this morning. Now, of course, they've travelled a long way from the Sahel region of Africa, and you can see that distinct little crest. Okay, well, let's leave the Wahlbergs and keep heading on. I hear a lot of birds. Sounds like some green pigeons and all sorts. Okay. Okay, we heard some green pigeons. Now we're also coming up towards Twin Dam, so there might be some water birds around. Well, our plan is to head all the way down to our southern boundary, and from there... Oh! Oh no, don't do it, you terrible creature! Is it going to land again? Yes, it is. So when, Vim? Oh, there he goes, landing on the dead tree. Okay, a little bit to the left of him. No, out a bit, and far to the left. There we go, got him. Zoom a little bit more to there we go. The African hoopoe. Okay, another one for our list. Oh, we're getting there, slowly but steady. Hoopoe, tick. African hoopoe, tick. They also, even though they've got that scimitar bill that's made for prying into crevices and under bark, with termite alates around, they'll definitely be feeding off those. So as I was saying before, I spotted the hoopoe. We're going to go down to the southern boundary. Apparently there are lion tracks in this area as well, so you know, we might just be slowly birding and stumble over the Incahumas. Now, we've got two choices now. We can either do the Mawati exclusively for birds, which we can do later, which might be not a bad idea. Okay, now I'm checking for water birds. Now I have mentioned the word emergence quite a few times today, and Sylvia is wondering, what is an emergence? Brent, please explain. An emergence is when the adult termites, well, the drones and future queens of the termite colony are expelled from their current colony. They emerge from the ground and then fly off and pair off and start forming new termite colonies. So that is an emergence. You can have emergences of termites. You can have emergences of ants, different ant species when the winged adults move off. What else can emerge? I suppose you can have an emergence of wildflowers, but generally it's referred to winged future kings and queens of colonial insects leaving their natal home. Oh, Herbie's trying to call me. Herb, whereabouts? Oh. Okay. Oh, interesting. I need to chat to... Let me just chat to Byron quickly. Okay, sorry, the radio is very busy. Now let's have a look around here. This is always a good spot as we approach the Mawati to bird. Byron. What you got? Lion tracks. William's got lion tracks next to the road. Oh, in the mud. Those are nice and clear. Byron, do you copy? Okay, I've just got a report. Byron, I'm not sure where Byron is, but I think he's around Buffelshoek Dam, and I've just got a report of lions about 200 meters up the road, and not the Incahumas. So let's go have a quick look, and once Byron's up and running, then we can maybe swap out and I can continue birding, since it is birding big day after all. Rex, I'm on Gari Main Mawati. Can I come join you? I haven't seen any of the Styx Lionesses for quite some time. Oh, but I can hear Bard Owlet calling. We'll definitely have to come back and look for him. Now, while we're making our way, we're very close towards close to those lions. They are right on the boundary. That's why I'm heading straight there. I'm hoping it's not in too precarious an area that we can't get in with the roof, but we will see shortly. Fortunately, we have a zoom on the camera. That's the lion tracks. I'm pretty sure it's the same ones that Rexon's found. Herbie, Byron's from Benyao. Oh, guinea fowls. We're not going to pass up on those for the bird list. There we go. Helmeted guinea fowls. Now they are also going to be, oh, and they're very fast running. As you can see, they're mostly ground birds. The only time they actually put up into the air is if they are... What was that noise, Vim? Did you hear that?
Camera.
Is it the camera? Oh dear. Anyway, we must add guinea fowl to our birding big day list. So remember, you guys out there at home must keep a track of both Byron and my birds. I'll keep a track of my birds, and I'm hoping that we are going to get to that magical 50 over the 2 drives. I think if we get a bit of sunshine on the sunset safari, or if it stays like this, the birding is actually going to be phenomenal. I think I might even go out between drives to do my own big birding day list. We'll have to see. You never know, maybe the lions are going to lead us to the rarest bird we see today. Okay, so we're about 70-80 meters from where Rexon found, he says, what sounds like to be 2 Styx Lionesses, and we're going to be there in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. See Rexon's car. Chat to Byron. Byron, Rex has got 2 Styx Lionesses, Cheetah cut line at the old hyena den. I'm here at the moment, but if you make your way, I'll swap out with you and continue birding. Oh, there they are, right next to us. Now, I haven't seen the Styx Lionesses for quite some time, so it'll be interesting to see how the mange is faring after a bit of rain. There we go. They're looking quite a bit better than they were the last time I saw them. The mange has definitely abated a little bit. There we go. Now they've been up and down. Of course, the third lioness has got little cubs at the moment, so she's not going to be wandering too far. And this is the first time I've seen the Styx on Djuma for a long time. There we go. Now, the Styx Pride, and for those of you who might not know, they lost 8 cubs to mange during the drought, but the eldest females already had new cubs, and it's probably not too long before these 2 start showing signs of pregnancy. Hey girls. Now I hear Byron's got tracks of the Inkumas around Buffalo's Hook as well. I just thought we'd have a quick check-in with the Styx. Let me just roll backward a little bit, maybe we can see the second lioness. There we go. Hi Sarah, who's in the United Kingdom. She says this show is her latest obsession, and she'd like to know how many cubs can a lion have in a single litter, and how long are they pregnant for. So, like most predators, they have very short gestation periods. The gestation period of a lion is between 90 and 110 days, so very, very short. And that reason for that is because they have such a high cub mortality. About 70% of all lion cubs that are born in the wild die, And the largest ever recorded litter of lions in the wild is, I think if I remember correctly, it's 6 from Nairobi National Park in Kenya. Generally, the average is 1 to 4 cubs. In captivity, the largest ever litter recorded is over 10, but that is probably due to lots of mitigating factors, and it's not natural and not good for a lioness to have that many cubs. So 1 to 4 is average. Normally you find in our area most of the litters are 2 or 3. Now, the Styx Pride, I used to see many years ago when I worked in the southern Sabi Sands, and they were much bigger prides. So they've had quite a rough 10 years or so. They've had mange a couple of times. They've lost quite a lot of cubs. There's been lots of male lion takeovers. But the Styx Pride were named after the river Styx from Greek mythology, because they sent so many animals to the ferryman to Hades. So they were very, very successful hunting prides, still are in fact, even though that they're not quite as big as they used to be, only 3 adults. And I think it's 2 or 3 cubs. Vim, did you see the cubs? No, with Jamie. Yeah. No, the new ones.
Oh, no.
Now, a consulting detective is wondering how contagious is mange, and will these lions pass it on to their new cubs? Well, mange really only takes bad effect in times of drought. So if it rains, you'll probably find that the mange will clear up and the cubs will normally survive, or they might be killed by a male lion, we never know, but they shouldn't pass on from mange at least. But it doesn't look like these lions are going anywhere anytime soon. There we go. Styx girls curled up in balls. They look like they're relatively well fed, and we're right on the periphery of their territory. Now, the Inkahumas, as the crow flies, where we were with them last night, was probably no more than 1.5 kilometers from here. Now, of course, the Birmingham boys, they preside over both prides, Styx and the Inkahumas. Even though the female prides will fight each other for territory, the Styx pride at the moment will generally avoid the Inkahuma pride. It's 5 adult lionesses versus 3 or 2 in this case, because the other female is staying close to her new little babies. Okay guys, well, it is birding big day and these cats are not doing anything, so I think VM and I are going to continue on our birding adventures. Remember, we're trying to get over 50 species today on camera live, so nice to catch up with the Styx. Hopefully they'll be here later, and I know Byron's off on foot tracking the Inkahumas. Bye bye girls. Okay, and thankfully they weren't in too thick an area that we weren't able to maneuver with our roof. Oh. Okay, there we go, on the move again. Okay, well, let's just slowly maneuver here. There we go. That is not what we're looking for. I saw another drongo. Off it goes. No, that's not what we're looking for. Hi, T. T is wondering, is the African hoopoe different from the one that comes to Europe? Indeed it is. The hoopoe you get in Europe is a European hoopoe. They do migrate to Africa, but only to North Africa and as far down as East Africa. I've seen European hoopoes in Kenya, but never this far down. So no, it is different. The African hoopoe is from Tanzania down to southern Africa, whereas the European hoopoe will migrate from Europe to Africa and back, but only going as far as East Africa to the south. Got some lovely calls up ahead. Let's see if we can find what is making those beautiful calls. Oh, don't. Oh, oh, there's Battis. We've got a couple of different things here. You got him, Vim? No, that's the Drongos. There's a... Wait. Okay, let me go forward a little bit. Okay, you see on that fallen stuff there, Vim? You're on it. So if you zoom, where are we now? Oh, sorry, a little bit to the right. Oh, quite a long way to the right. Keep coming. You can hear that call. Keep coming. There we go, in there. Now there's some little birds flitting around there. Where are they gone now? You can hear that call. I'm just trying to spot it. Oh, while I try to find it, if you come out Vim across the road. Oh, there we go, well done. Look there, what do we got? And it looks like a roller. There we go, lilac-breasted roller. Another one for our list. A lilac-breasted roller. Will today be the first day we find a European roller? Now we can hear that wonderful call. I'm just trying to see, they normally call from prominent spots. Let's just go forward a little bit. Let's see if we get a view from behind. We decided to go quiet, little one. Oh, it's such a beautiful call. We can't find the bird though. Oh dear. Let's keep moving. Coming up, oh, actually right in front of us there, Vim. Another one for our list. There we go, a chin spot Battis. A little flycatcher. Very pretty little guys. Oh, beautiful little flycatcher. As I said, this weather, although it is quite challenging, the birds are very, very active. Okay, let's have a quick look, if we can have a last look for that very beautiful calling bird. No, alas, and I'm not even sure what it was. I think it could have been one of the flycatchers, but anyway, I have good news. Someone who's going to be keeping nice and warm and dry this morning would like to say hello.
Indeed like to say hello and a very good morning to all of you, and welcome to the 10th segment of this morning's Sunrise Safari. My name is Jamie, and this morning I have Jandre on camera with me. Jandre just told me, sorry, I'm distracted now. Jandre just told me that he thought he heard alarm calls from the Impala and they were running past. I have a suspicion, though, that it's due to their rutting season. So it's because the Impala males are all a little bit confused and they feel as though because the females are pregnant, it is all the hormones going around, it's go ahead to go and try and mate with them, which of course is not going to happen, and it leaves them with sort of several aggressive tendencies, and they chase each other around, and they chase the females around. That's what I think it was, but I'll keep an eye out, Andre. Who knows? We could be sitting in the tent, and the wild dogs could come running by. How cool would that be? If it was just one burst of alarm calls. The fact that the Impala outside our tent are completely relaxed suggests to me that it's just Impala doing confusing things. Morning, guys. Hello. Looking a little soggy this morning. Oh, it's a lovely rainy morning, and I, of course, can appreciate it from the warmth and comfort of the tent. You're welcome to come and join us, Nyala, if you want to. I don't think they will, though. They seem to be quite content to wander around in the rain, and of course they've got the added benefit of eating away, or eating all the water droplets off the leaves. Right, so I hear you've been having a big birding day with Brent, with a little lion interruption in the middle. So I thought, well, since we're in the tent and we have access to all kinds of wonderful things, and if you have just joined us or have just joined the show, the tent is a wonderful way of examining things slightly more closely, having a look at things under the microscope. We will go into the skulls that are behind me. The tent became a little bit morbid at one point. It was sort of skulls and bones scattered everywhere. But I think we've achieved quite a nice balance of different fascinating objects that you find in the bush. Without any further ado, this is where Jerry's role comes in. I thought we'd have a look, at the feathers under the microscope. It would be ideal if I didn't actually knock the feather out initially. There you go. This is the feather probably of a starling. I will have to ask Brent to maybe find you a starling, although I have to tell you it's not going to look as magnificent in this light as this feather is. But just have a look at the fine, fine detail that makes up a feather. All of those little clasps holding each little individual bit. Oh, goodness, coffee shakes. No, I'll just take that away. That's definitely not going to work as an indicator. All of those fine, fine filaments connected together and tying bits of feather together. And those of you who perhaps played with feathers as kids, you probably got into trouble like I did. I remember being told that feathers are very dirty things. Birds carry all sorts of mites and fleas, but nevertheless, it never stopped me. You'll know that if you've tried to pull apart bits of these feathers before, you know how stuck together they are. And it's the extraordinary thing about birds. They get the split. Oh, hold on. That's what I was trying to show you. There you go. Obviously, when feathers do get damaged, you get splits like that where the filaments pull apart, and they generally can't be put back together again. It's like a broken zip. The birds can't slide the feathers back again, and as a result, the feather will just shed and they will grow new ones, much like we grow new hairs. And of course, we've got the different styles of feather. This is a much, much longer one than the one we were looking at under the microscope, and slightly weather-beaten. You can see there, something's been nibbling on the ends of it. It's all broken up, soggy, slightly sticky, and this bird potentially met quite an unfortunate end. Or it's just a very old feather, and it just happened to fall off. Now, this is a flight feather. Of course, each and every bird has different types of feathers, just as we've got fingernails versus hair, for example. This is what I wanted to show you. This is a downy feather. Try and keep my hand still. So this obviously will go underneath the primary layers of feathers to help to keep the bird warm. So those bits aren't stuck together at all. They're nice and fluffy and all in all terribly warm and cozy for the bird. I've got my feathers all gathered together, and we're going to try and help out with the big birding day where we can. If we see any nice birds, perhaps if we hear some nice birds, because to be honest, it might be a little bit tricky trying to see them from the tent. But if we hear any nice birds, we're going to try and see if we can add to the list. What I wanted to do, because Brent, of course, was with the Styx, and I wanted to touch this thing. I've been wanting to since I first saw it in here, and I haven't had the opportunity because the last time I was in the tent, Steph was here. Now, this isn't a lion skull. This is a leopard skull, but the design is almost essentially the same as a lion skull. And what I wanted to show you, first of all, this is probably a female leopard to me. Just judging by the size, it's quite a small skull. It fits in my hand quite comfortably. You can tell so much about the way an animal works just by its teeth structure. Relatively reduced in sizes. Our animals, our lions and our big cats don't really use their incisors all that often. But then, of course, you've got the weaponry of the canines here. absolutely massive, slightly blunted at the end, which of course is what you will get all of the time. And then, if we shift here, this is where the really interesting stuff happens, because that, of course, is the carnassial shear of the molars. So it acts like scissors. So when we talk about the carnassial shear and the way that they're using them, you've seen the lions when they turn their heads to the side when they're eating their food, and they do this, and they chomp sideways. And that's them using the scissor-like motion of the molars. And our molars are completely different, of course. If you bite down now, you'll feel your molars basically meet the tops of your molars and the top of your bottom molars and the bottom of your top molars. Does that make sense? Meet in the middle, essentially. You might get some overlap, but we don't have an actual scissoring, cutting motion to our jaws. Now, that's the really, really cool thing about these skulls. Whoops, I did a bad thing. Oh no, sorry, leopard. Here we go, got it back in. Now, there you go. And a lion skull is essentially the same, obviously just much, much bigger and much more solid. They are easily, in terms of a female leopard versus a female lion is at least 3 times the weight of a female leopard, and her skull is correspondingly bigger. Now, I'm going to be playing with all of these skulls at some point this morning, just because this is the first time I've had a chance to see them, so I'm excited. But I'm sure you're all wondering what Byron has been up to this morning. I think we should head across to him and find out.
So I've been trying to find out or work out where this Nkuhuma pride have gone. I've got tracks of them at Buffelshoek Dam, but it looks like they've moved through a very, very thick area at the moment. The problem is, because of our roofs, we aren't able to now drive off-road as easily as we would without the roof. Herbert has come into the area to give us a hand. We haven't found them yet, but I've got an idea that I think they're in this block potentially. So I'm hoping he does find them. If he does find them, maybe we can work out if we can get in there or not. But I do think they probably have just moved into a thick area. But it is difficult. It's difficult to track. But these tracks that we see, or that I've seen now, seem pretty fresh and seem like from early this morning sometime. So we'll have a look. We'll carry on checking. But unfortunately, when they do move away from the road and through these thick blocks, it becomes very difficult to find them. We'll just have to see what else we can find. But they've moved around a lot. It's very interesting. There are tracks on at least 3 or 4 different roads of lions moving in different areas. So I wonder if perhaps the lionesses weren't trying to hunt last night. That caused them to split up and move through different areas. That does happen. And also the males. The males were with them. The males could have headed off in another direction. So there are tracks all over the show at the moment. But it looks like the last tracks I had looked like the pride. They headed straight towards Buffelshoek Dam, and then they headed in a westerly direction from there, which is basically the opposite direction to where we are driving now. But I'm just doing another loop around, and like I said, Herbert is in that area now, and I've shown him where the tracks are, so he might be able to get off and try walk through there and see if he can find the lions for us. I've seen signs of elephant, broken branches, fresh broken branches. Excuse me a second, Herbert's just trying to get hold of me. Go ahead, Herbert. Okay, copy. I think Herbert's managed to find them. I think he's managed to find them. Let's go have a look quickly. Romy, you wanted to know. Sorry, so there are some Impala through there that I wanted to show you, but I think let's go see if we can get those lions quickly. So just when I showed Herbert where the tracks are, maybe he was able to walk in there a little bit further than what I could. Maybe he's found them. Let's have a look. We're not far. We're very, very close. Romy, you wanted to know what would happen if the Styx lions bumped into the Nkuhuma pride, would there be an altercation? Most definitely, most definitely. Lions are very territorial, and two different prides in the same area would most definitely result in aggressive behavior and fighting and probably chasing each other out. And I think what would happen in this area, the Nkuhuma pride would most likely chase the Styx pride out of the area and probably attack and fight some of those females. Let's just have a look. Alright, there's Herbert, just where I left him. Let's see, maybe they're not too far. Do you see them through there, Herbie? Okay, I just want to have a look quickly. Hold on, everybody. I wonder if we can maybe try and cross to somebody else, just to so I can try and work out how I'm going to get in here, because it is quite thick. Alright, I think let's quickly head to Brent, get an update from him, and then I'm going to see if I can get this vehicle in through this thick area. And then we'll get you updated.
Oh, okay. I told you we were going to come find the barred owlet, and I've spotted him with my binoculars. I'm just trying to find him with the camera. We can still hear him calling. I'm just figuring this out now. I gotta try. Oh, I've lost sight of him again. Oh, he's so well camouflaged. Okay, let's try. I'm gonna try. Actually, I think we need to go forward here, Ben. Let's maybe try off the edge. I'm just trying to see that little bump I saw. Okay. Okay. There he is, you got him. A little bit up, a little bit to the right. Down a little bit. There he is, shaking his head. There we go. Oh no, you're terrible. Oh, he's actually in a better place now. It's taken... There we go, look at that wonderful little barred owlet. It's taken us about 10 minutes to find where he was calling. He's calling again. That's definitely one. That counts. We've got him, the barred owlet. Oh, that took a while to find. And I think that's bird number 11 for us so far. Now, Vim has told me what one of his favourite birds is, and that's the Burchell's cuckoo. Now, Vim, I can hear a Burchell's cuckoo calling. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Let's see if we can find it. There we go. So, the reason he's calling during the day is because of this overcast weather, and it seems like the rain's lifted a little bit. Vim and I are toying with the idea of taking off our roof just to improve the bird watching. But we'll give it a little bit longer. So that cuckoo sounds like it's calling from in this area here, and we haven't seen one on camera for quite a while. Often referred to, its local nickname is the rain bird. They love to call when it's raining or just before it rains. Do 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 do. Lily B is putting down the gauntlet. Lily would like to see a Varro's eagle owl. Well, this is a good place to look for them. They do like to roost in the big jackalberries or African ebonies around the Moati riverbed. Now I'm hoping that VM's favourite bird will show itself, because it is birding big day. You forgot something? Oh, little bushbuck. Oh, and it's gone. Not hanging around that little bushbuck. It's not big bushbuck day. Oh, no, he's gone. Okay, so that cuckoo was calling somewhere from here. They like to call from thickets, although in this wet weather they might be sitting a little bit more prominently than they normally do. Let's see if we can hear him again. What I can do is play you the call. It is such a magnificently beautiful call. Have you got him?
Yeah, he's too fast.
Go back, VM spotted him. How far, VM? Now they are skulkers, so they skulk through the undergrowth. They're quite voracious little hunters, and lizards, and you got him. VM's got him. So there we go, VM. Your favourite bird. You wanted a Birchall's cuckoo? Go. Oh, there he's going to jump out into the open. There we go. Tick. Well done, VM. So one of VM's favourite birds has decided to show itself for birding big day. And isn't that lovely when both these birds we've heard calling, the barred owlet and the Birchall's cuckoo, and then we've gone and followed the calls to find them. Wonderful. Lovely, lovely, lovely. We haven't seen one for such a long time. Oh, I can hear one of our more common little critters up ahead, the rattling testicular. One has avoided us already this morning. It flew off before we could get the camera on it. Cheat, 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 cheat. Oh, VM spotted a hardy-dar. Another one for the list. Now, Virginia is wondering, are there any birds that are less afraid of vehicles? Well, Virginia, I think your Franklin species we seem to get the most close to, and definitely some of the rollers and starlings of quarantine. There we go. Wait, what are we looking for? Hardy-dar. Oh, I'm looking in the wrong area. It is ibis, is its proper name. It's called a hardy-dar ibis. And there we go. Tick. There we go. It's gone behind there. Let's keep looking to see if we can find any of these other little birds that are calling up ahead. You can hear that chip, 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 chip of the testicular. Oh, I think he's right at the top of this jackalberry tree, so we're not going to be able to show him, unfortunately. Let's keep moving. I'm sure we'll find one in a more convenient position. There's the hardy-dar, using that wonderful long bill to probe into the sand. Now they'll be looking for worms or other insects. That there we go. See how they use that beak to check in to the sand for any hohos. And turtle tracking is wondering, do any of the birds respond to your calls? Indeed they do, quite a few of them do, but generally we try not use the calls too much to call the birds, because if you think about it, a lot of those calls are territorial, so it might make them a little upset. We don't want to do that. I like my birds, happy birds. And oh, is it going to land? Yes. Hold on. Another one for the list. Just around the corner. Okay, it's definitely one we haven't put on camera this morning. It landed just beyond this tree coming up on the left. And of course we're also in white-throated robin country around here. It's not the white-throated robin I saw. Oh dear. We'll have one quick look. Alas, whatever, or it was a Jacobin cuckoo, it has made its escape. Now, something that has not escaped the attentions of Herbie and Byron is a big surprise. I wonder what it could be.
Look at this, persistence pays off, everyone. We found the Nkuhuma Pride. So our tracking was spot on this morning, and also thanks to Herbert, who just came and gave us a hand. It's easier for him to be able to get off the vehicle and move away when he doesn't have to be on camera, so it does help us tremendously for him to be able to walk through a block for a little bit longer than for us to get off and walk away from